Everything was fine until I said one sentence, and then she showed her true colors. Please read this to the end, because what I uncovered didn't just break my heart, it rewired everything I thought I knew about love and loyalty. It all started with a single voicemail, the kind you play once and wish you hadn't because, after that, nothing stays the same. You ever say something so small, so harmless, that it cracks your whole life open like an eggshell? Yeah, that happened to me. It was a Sunday, quiet, ordinary, deceptively calm. The kind of day where you fold laundry, sip coffee, and feel like maybe adulthood isn't eating you alive. I was sitting on the couch, barefoot, watching TV with Jenna, my girlfriend of 2 years. She had her legs across my lap, painting her toenails this light coral color that somehow always reminded me of beach sunsets. It smelled like chemicals and nostalgia. We were good, or at least I thought we were. We had routines, inside jokes, a shared Spotify playlist called Us But Better. You know, the kind of thing couples do when they believe they're forever. That was us. I'd even started looking at rings. But there was this one thing, this one little itch under my skin. Jenna had this friend, Casey, tall, loud, always dressed like she was going clubbing even when we were just grabbing pizza. Jenna swore up and down they were platonic, childhood besties, soulmates in a friend way, but Casey gave me that smirk. You know the one, like she knew something I didn't, like she was always one text away from becoming more than just a friend. I never said much. Never wanted to be that guy, the jealous boyfriend, the insecure one. But that day, I don't know, something in me snapped. Maybe it was the way Jenna laughed a little too hard at her phone, or how she locked the screen the second I looked over. I wasn't trying to snoop. I wasn't. So I said it. That one sentence. Sometimes I wonder if you'd be happier with Casey. She froze. Nail polish brush midair. One tiny drop fell on her ankle. At first, I thought she didn't hear me. Then she looked up. And I swear to God, her whole face changed. Like a mask dropping. The soft eyes? Gone. That playful smirk? Flattened. What stared back at me was someone else entirely. Cold. Sharp. Calculating. What the hell did you just say? I chuckled. Awkward. It's not a big deal. I was just saying. Number no. Say it again. She stood up. Polish forgotten. Eyes blazing. Say it. Say it to my face. I said, maybe you'd be happier with Casey. I repeated, now defensive. You're always texting her. You light up when she walks into the room. I'm not blind, Jenna. And then? She exploded. Not yelling, not crying. Worse. Controlled. Quiet. Dangerous. She started pacing, muttering. I caught phrases like typical man, control freak, paranoid loser. Then she turned on me like a storm. You think I'm cheating on you? With my best friend? After everything I've done for you? The sacrifices I've made? You think you get to question me? I stood up. I didn't accuse you. You just implied it. Which is worse. You don't trust me. You never did. You just pretended because it was convenient. Then she started grabbing things, throwing them into a duffel bag. Makeup, chargers, shoes, chaos spilling out like her fury had been bottled up for years. She knocked over a lamp, slammed the bedroom door so hard a frame fell off the wall, and then she said something I'll never forget. You were a rebound, Nathan. You were just supposed to be a phase. Like that. A sentence for a sentence. And suddenly, I was alone. I didn't move for a long time. I just stood there in the living room, heart racing, ears ringing, staring at the door she'd slammed like it was going to open again and reveal that this was some kind of joke, that she didn't mean it, that this was just a fight. A bad one, yeah, but fixable. But it didn't open. Instead, I heard her voice through the door, on the phone with someone, probably Casey. He finally snapped, she said. Her voice was too calm, too pleased. I told you he wouldn't last, he's too insecure. She knew I could hear her. That wasn't a slip. That was a power move. And suddenly everything started clicking. All the little things I'd ignored. The way she'd always kept me at arm's length when it came to her friends, especially Casey. The way she'd talk about our future only in vague Pinterest board dreams, never with actual dates or plans. How she'd always laughed a little too hard when someone made a joke at my expense. And how, no matter what, I always felt like I was just slightly out of place in her world. Like she was the lead in her movie and I was just a supporting character she hadn't gotten around to cutting yet. But the worst part? I started doubting myself. Was I overreacting? Was I being paranoid? Was she right? Was I just some insecure guy who couldn't handle a strong woman having friends? I sat down on the floor, back against the couch, and just stared at the lamp she'd knocked over. It wasn't even broken, just tilted. The bulb flickering like it wasn't sure if it wanted to stay lit. That's how I felt. At some point, I must have passed out there. Woke up at 2:17 a.m. to the sound of the front door closing. Her footsteps, fast and angry. Then the screech of her car pulling out of the driveway. I looked out the window just in time to see the taillights disappear down the street. Gone. She hadn't even left a note. Just a mess. Literal and emotional. And a refrigerator full of groceries we bought together 2 days earlier. Chicken breasts. Fresh herbs. The good cheese. Stuff you buy when you think you're building something. And then I saw it. Her toothbrush still in the holder. Her necklace, this little silver moon pendant she always wore, on the bathroom counter like she'd forgotten it in her rush to leave. Except I knew Jenna didn't forget things. She left it on purpose. A calling card. That's when the rage finally hit. Not the loud kind. The deep, slow-burning kind that sits in your chest like hot coal. She played me, gaslit me, made me question my own instincts, and then left like I was the one who broke something sacred. But no. No, she cracked it long before I said a damn word. All I did was shine a light on it. She showed her true colors, and they were ugly. So I stood up, turned on every light in the house, grabbed a garbage bag, and I started clearing out everything that smelled like her. I was done being her placeholder. And if she thought this was over, she was about to learn something about me, too. I don't break, I building, and I remember. The next morning, I woke up with this hollow pit in my chest, and this insane clarity in my head. You know that moment after a storm when the sky's still gray but you can see the wreckage clearly for the first time? That was me. I looked around my house, our house, and realized how much of it wasn't really mine anymore. Everywhere I turned, there were pieces of her. The overpriced faux vintage mirror she just had to have. The throw blanket we never actually used but always had to be aesthetic on the couch. The coffee table books. The live, laugh, love bullshit on the kitchen wall she insisted was ironic. It wasn't. It was like she'd moved in with a blueprint for erasing me slowly. So I kept the purge going. Tossed her yoga mats, her crystal-infused water bottle, even her color-coded spice rack system. Anything that felt like her fingerprint on my life, I ripped it out. I wasn't just angry, I felt contaminated. And the more I cleared, the more I started replaying everything she'd ever said that made me feel less. That one time she joked in front of her friends that I couldn't dress himself without her. When she told me I was cute when I got upset. When she said my job wasn't sexy, but at least it paid the bills. God. She never wanted a partner. She wanted a prop, a steady, quiet guy who wouldn't upstage her curated chaos. So I decided to return the favor, with a little chaos of my own. I went through our shared drive where we kept all our stuff. Taxes, documents, saved memes, vacation plans. That's when I saw it. A folder named Freelance Projects. I'd never looked inside before. It was full of selfies. Hundreds of them. Half were harmless. Instagram rejects. Outfit checks. But a good chunk, intimate. Too intimate. And not just of her. There were screenshots. Texts from people I didn't recognize. Flirty messages. Shirtless pics of some guy named Liam. Conversations with Casey that read more like lovers than friends. Late-night chats. Code words. A whole world that existed behind my back. And then the kicker. One message from Jenna to Casey 3 weeks before this all blew up. I keep waiting for him to say something. One wrong sentence and I swear I'll be gone. Just need the excuse. That was it. That was my sentence. She'd been waiting for me to trigger my own breakup. She wanted out, just not the guilt. So she baited me, pushed me until I cracked, then acted shocked and betrayed, like she hadn't planned the exit months ago. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud like a crazy person sitting there surrounded by half-packed boxes and a broken relationship. And then I stopped laughing because I knew exactly what I was going to do. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't even going to block her. I was going to make sure the people in her life, the ones she hadn't manipulated, finally saw her for who she really was. She played games with my trust, so I was going to play back with the truth. It started with her sister. Rachel, 31, lives in Portland, graphic designer, and possibly the only person in Jenna's orbit who ever treated me like I mattered. We'd bonded at a wedding once, both of us side-eyeing Jenna's casual Instagram livestream in the middle of the ceremony. Rachel had this dry, biting humor that cut through Jenna's sparkle facade like a scalpel. So I called her. No dramatics. Just said, "Hey, I think you should know what your sister's been up to. I'm not trying to start a war. I just need one person to hear the truth." She didn't say much. Just send it. So I did. Screenshots. Voice memos Jenna accidentally recorded. Yeah, one of them had her giggling with Casey about how dumb boys believe anything if you moan a little. Calendar entries marked L meetup. Emails with travel plans I'd never heard about. 10 minutes later, Rachel texted, "Holy fuck. I believe you. I've believed something was off for years. But this? She's a sociopath. She said she'd handle the rest of the family." Good. I didn't want to. Next was her job. I never wanted to ruin her career. But turns out Jenna had been using our couple influencer status to push her own brand consulting work. A few of her recent gigs, paid trips, brand deals. With me as the plus one, the boyfriend arm candy she showed off and then cut out of the footage. So I emailed the PR rep for one of her biggest clients, a woman I'd met at a shoot in Nashville, who'd actually complimented us on being refreshingly real. I didn't send screenshots. I just told her, kindly, calmly, that Jenna's authenticity was fake, that our relationship had been leveraged for clout while she was building a side life behind my back. Her response? Wow, thank you. That explains a lot. I appreciate your honesty. 1 week later, Jenna's face disappeared from the brand's campaign. I wasn't done. I logged into our shared Airbnb account. Yes, she'd booked places under my name, billing it to our joint credit card, romantic getaways that I never attended. One of the hosts left a glowing review for Jenna and Liam, so I requested a data report. Guess who got an invoice trail sent to her work email? Then, the final stroke. I posted a short, cold statement to my socials. Sometimes love teaches you what to avoid. What you tolerate becomes your truth. I almost built a future on lies. Not anymore. Jenna, good luck finding someone else to play the role. No drama, no names, but everyone knew. Her comments started going dark within hours. The curated selfies weren't pulling the same likes. Casey unfollowed me within 10 minutes. Guilt, maybe, or fear. And then came the inevitable. 3 days later, Jenna showed up at my door. Eyes red, hoodie too big, her voice small. You told them. I didn't answer. You ruined everything, she said. And her voice cracked, not with sadness, but rage barely held together by mascara. You humiliated me. For what? And I just stared at her. You said I was just a rebound, I said, steady. So I bounced. I closed the door. Hard. Update. Well, that escalated quickly. I didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. I thought maybe a few people would read it, nod along, maybe share a "been there, bro," and move on. Instead, my phone has been vibrating nonstop for the past 48 hours. Reddit, you guys are hilarious, savage, and strangely therapeutic. So many of you caught things I didn't even fully realize. Some highlights. Shout out to the commenter who said, she was just rehearsing your breakup in real time. That hit harder than it should have. To the guy who said, you should have left the necklace in a cursed velvet box and mailed it back. I wish I'd thought of that. And to whoever messaged me, congrats on dodging a human red flag with Wi-Fi. You win the internet. But anyway, here's what happened since I posted. Jenna is losing it. And when I say losing it, I don't mean sad or guilty. I mean combustible. I got 12 missed calls between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. the night I posted that last part. Voicemails ranged from weepy, you were my best friend Nathan, please just talk to me, to full-on shrieking, how dare you weaponize my vulnerability? I didn't respond, obviously. The next day, she tried to play nice. Sent an email, an actual email, with a subject line that read, let's be adults about this. It was a 5-paragraph masterpiece of blame shifting. Said I overreacted, accused me of spinning a narrative, and, get this, claimed I violated her emotional copyright. What the hell does that even mean? She said I deliberately humiliated her and threatened legal action unless I took down the post and issued a public apology. So I did the adult thing. I forwarded it to Rachel. Rachel called me 30 minutes later and said, I just want you to know, you're not crazy. I lived with that manipulative mess for 18 years. You just survived the boss level. Apparently, Jenna's family has been watching her unravel for years. Rachel told me that Jenna has pulled this same act with ex-friends, ex-boyfriends, even old co-workers. Turns every breakup into a smear campaign and cries victim when people finally walk away. I guess I was just the latest audition for her main character complex. But here's the real kicker. Last night, Casey messaged me. 3 words. I didn't know. Then a wall of texts, apologies, screenshots. Casey said Jenna lied to her too. About me, about what I'd supposedly done, even about how serious we were. Claimed I'd cheated, that I was emotionally withholding and manipulative. Jenna told Casey that she had to push me away for her own mental health. Casey ended the message with this. She told me you never really loved her, that you were just using her until someone better came along. I believed her. I'm sorry. So yeah, turns out the one sentence that broke us, it was the only honest thing in a house full of curated lies. I'm not heartbroken. I'm not even angry anymore. I'm clean for the first time in months. And I'm just getting started. You want revenge? Buckle up. Because next, I'm returning the favor, symbolically, publicly, and in a way Jenna will never forget. So here's how I did it. I didn't torch her reputation. I didn't out her to her job or make a spectacle. No, that's her game. Big drama, bigger victimhood. I decided to play chess. Quiet, deliberate, and devastating. Jenna's birthday was coming up. And let me tell you, she lives for her birthday. I'm talking birthday month energy, custom Instagram countdowns, color-coded party themes, and Pinterest boards labeled Leo Queen vibes. The whole thing was shaping up to be a rooftop brunch situation. Sponsored content, collaborations, photographers, the works. She'd already invited 40-plus people, many of whom I still followed and who still thought we were together. So I RSV'd. You read that right. I told her I was coming. And then, I didn't show up. I let her wait. I let her look for me while checking her angles in the mirror. I let her text me, "Where are you?" at 10:17 a.m. Then, "Are you seriously ghosting me on my birthday?" at 10:32. Then, at 11:03, she finally called. I didn't answer. Instead, I scheduled a post to go live at exactly 11:11 a.m. because you know she believes in angel numbers. A picture of the moon necklace she left behind, laid on top of the RSVP card, next to a copy of the message she wrote Casey, "Just need an excuse to leave him." The caption? "Happy birthday to the girl who finally got what she wanted. I hope it was worth it." Within an hour, it was everywhere. Friends, followers, family. The comment section was like a live volcano. Some defended her. Some went in. But the worst, for her, the silence. The collaborations started to go dark. The influencers who lived for her brunch selfies suddenly weren't tagging her. The likes dropped. The brand deals disappeared. One of her sponsors even reposted my picture with a caption, "We stand for transparency, not performative partnerships." Then the final blow. I sent the necklace, her favorite necklace, back to her, but not in a box. I mailed it to a thrift store 2 blocks from her apartment, with a sticky note, "You left this behind, just like you left everything real." She picked it up. I know because the thrift store posted a story. "Someone's ex donated this today. Wonder what the story is." She DM'd them within an hour. And I know what you're thinking. Was that petty? Yes. Was it satisfying? Oh God, yes. But it wasn't about humiliating her. It was about reminding her, you can't curate away the truth. You can't manufacture love. And when you burn the people who loved you most, eventually, someone lights the match right back. She wanted to play pretend. I just rewrote the ending. I thought she might spiral. I wasn't prepared for the fury. 2 days after the birthday incident, I woke up to my car windshield shattered. Not cracked. Shattered. There was glitter in the cracks. Glitter like some twisted fairy dust signature. And a printed photo of us duct-taped to the hood. It was from our first trip together. Oregon coast. She'd captioned it back then. "Home isn't a place. It's a person." This time, someone had scribbled in Sharpie across it, "You destroyed us." No note, no witnesses. But come on, glitter, Jenna's signature brand. She used it on birthday cards, invitations, even her laptop case. I half expected to find rose petals and a broken ring box taped to the muffler. I called the cops, filed a report. Nothing they could do unless I caught her in the act. So I did something better. I installed cameras, front porch, driveway, side alley, nothing flashy, just enough to catch anything glittery. That night, she came back. I watched her live from my phone as she walked up the driveway in a hoodie, my hoodie by the way, and crouched by my mailbox. She slid something inside, then looked right at the camera like she knew, like she wanted me to see. In the morning, I checked the box. A letter, written on pink stationery, smeared in perfume, glitter in the folds. "You humiliated me. You turned my friends against me. Do you feel powerful now? You ruined everything because you couldn't handle being second best." Second best? I laughed out loud. I was second best? While she was texting Liam and Casey, plotting her exit, treating me like a placeholder boyfriend while planning aesthetic brunches with captions like, "Manifesting my dream life?" No more. So I scanned the letter, uploaded it, minus the identifying info, to my story. Caption: "I don't respond to threats. I keep receipts." Jenna blocked me 10 minutes later, but not before Rachel messaged me. "She's losing it. You might want to warn your job. She's been calling around asking weird questions." And just like that, I realized she wasn't done punishing me. She couldn't hurt my reputation anymore. So she went for the one thing she hadn't touched yet: my livelihood. 3 voicemails, all from blocked numbers, all vague, asking about my conduct and communication style. She was trying to tank me professionally. I should have been scared, but honestly, I was calm. Because at that point, the revenge was over. Now I was just documenting the collapse. Reddit has been very loud, and y'all gave me the best idea yet. Update 2. Alright Reddit, buckle the hell up. This is the last time I'm posting about this mess, because I've finally reached peace. And it's not the kind of peace you get when things go quiet. It's the kind that comes after a detonation. First off, I just want to say, y'all are unhinged in the best way. Some of you should not have access to Photoshop, legal templates, or glitter-related revenge ideas. That being said, the comment that really stuck with me: if she wants to play the main character, give her the finale she deserves. So I did. Let me walk you through the last scene of the Jenna cinematic universe. After she tried to get me in trouble at work, and failed, because thankfully I work with actual adults, I did something poetic. I took every piece of our relationship she'd left behind, every love note, every concert ticket, every Polaroid and journal scrap, and I packaged them up into a memory box, wrapped it in brown paper, tied it with a ribbon, and I mailed it. Not to her, to her mother. Now, for context, her mom loves me. Always did. Said I was the first guy Jenna brought home who didn't make her roll her eyes. We'd had wine nights while Jenna got ready for content shoots. Her mom once told me she hoped I'd civilize her daughter someday. Well, inside the box I included a letter, handwritten. I thought you should have this. Your daughter said I was second best, but I think you saw who I really was. This is everything she left behind, emotionally and physically. I don't want it anymore. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. I'm just free now. Thank you for always treating me like more than a placeholder. Nathan. That was it. A week later, I got a voicemail from her mom. Short, just, I'm sorry, you didn't deserve any of this. Neither did Casey. Neither did Casey. Yeah. Apparently Casey moved out, took her name off Jenna's lease, blocked her, publicly posted a photo captioned, choosing peace over chaos. Poetic. God-tier timing. As for Jenna, I haven't heard from her in weeks. Her socials are locked. Comments limited. Last I heard, she tried to pitch a new healing podcast, and it flopped after people started commenting. Is this the same girl who left a necklace at a thrift store like a Bond villain? And me? I'm good. No, I'm great. I redecorated the apartment, bought a real plant I haven't killed yet, reconnected with friends I lost in the Jenna vortex. I even went on a date last week. Nothing serious, but for the first time in a long time, I felt like me, unfiltered, uncurated, just Nathan. To everyone who read, commented, DM'd, or just lurked, thank you. Seriously, you didn't just listen to a breakup, you witnessed a resurrection. Stay petty, stay kind, and if they ever say, you're just second best, smile, because that means they just lost their first. It's weird how quiet healing is. Not silent, just quiet. No dramatic music swelling in the background, no grand declarations, no fireworks, just ordinary things suddenly feeling safe again. Like waking up and realizing the first thought in your head isn't her. Or going to the grocery store and not feeling that tight little gut twist when you pass the aisle where she used to drag you for almond milk and matcha powder. I didn't expect it to come this way. I thought I'd feel triumphant, cinematic. But what I actually felt? Lighter. I took a walk one night, just around the block, hoodie on, headphones in, and ended up at that little overlook near my street. Jenna and I used to sit there sometimes, pretending we were some kind of deep couple. She'd take selfies while I watched the city lights. I always thought that spot meant something to us. But standing there alone, I realized it never really did. She was always looking for the perfect angle. I was just trying to hold on. I sat there for a while, let the wind sting my face. No music, no scrolling, just me, breathing, grieving. Not her, but the version of myself I became when I was with her. That cautious, quiet guy who swallowed his instincts to keep someone else comfortable. Never again. The next day, I did something small but huge. I unfollowed her last few friends. Not out of spite, but because I didn't want the digital debris anymore. I didn't want to wonder if they were still talking about me. I didn't want to see a tagged story and flinch. I also blocked her. Not because I was scared of what she might say, but because I finally didn't care what she might think. Then something even stranger happened. I ran into Casey. It was at a bookstore, of all places. Both of us reaching for the same copy of The Midnight Library. No joke. We locked eyes, both laughed, awkward, confused, a little startled. I hadn't seen her since the implosion. She looked tired, but real. No filters, no front. I owe you a coffee, she said. We got coffee. Talked for 2 hours. She told me everything. How Jenna spun the breakup like I'd gone crazy. How she kept blaming toxic masculinity for not being allowed to have emotional affairs. How Casey realized Jenna had been using her too, feeding her just enough affection to keep her close. Always one apology away from codependence. Casey didn't know she was part of the manipulation cycle. She thought she was the exception, just like I did. Before we parted ways, she said something I haven't stopped thinking about. I think she collected people, like trophies. But you were the one she couldn't control. That's why she hated you at the end. Maybe. Or maybe I was just the first person to say no and mean it. Either way, that chapter is done. Not erased, but closed. Starting over isn't fireworks. It's folding laundry in silence and realizing you're okay with the quiet. It's brushing your teeth, catching your own eyes in the mirror, and not looking away. It's relearning how to live in your own skin. I used to think healing meant replacing what was broken, like I had to find someone new to fill the space Jenna left. Swipe right until the ache dulled. Get validation from strangers to remind myself I was still desirable, still worth loving. But now I think healing is just learning how to sit with the silence without needing to fill it. I moved the furniture around, bought new sheets, got rid of the stupid bath bombs Jenna insisted made our place feel spa-like, replaced them with eucalyptus I actually like, found a playlist that wasn't shared, cooked dinner for myself, for me, for the first time in months. I'm not pretending I'm all fixed. Some mornings still sting. Sometimes I'll open a drawer and find one of her bobby pins, and it's like a ghost passes through the room. But I don't chase it anymore. I let it pass. I nod at it, and I move on. The people around me, they're different now, too. My friend Micah, who Jenna used to call boring, comes over every Friday for game night. We don't talk about her. We talk about real stuff. Dumb jokes, work, football. I forgot how good it feels to just exist with someone who isn't trying to edit you in real time. And then there's Nora. I met her through a volunteer project my company's doing, local community housing rebuilds. She's sharp, messy in the best way, always has paint on her elbows, always talking with her hands. She doesn't remind me of Jenna, and that's the best part. She doesn't feel like a reaction to my past. She feels like my kind of future. We're not a thing yet. Maybe we never will be. But she asked me once, "Why'd you join the project?" And I told her the truth. Because I used to build things for people who just wanted to tear them down. I want to build something that stays standing this time. She smiled. Didn't ask for more. Just said, that's a good enough reason for anything. So yeah, everything was fine. Until I said one sentence, and she showed her true colors. But what she didn't know, that sentence didn't break me. It freed me. I didn't lose her. I lost the version of myself who thought he had to shrink to be loved. And in return, I found someone better, me.